Hello, everyone. My name is Chad Williams, and I'm presenting on behalf of Cloud Securities. The title of my presentation today is How to Become a Successful Mining CEO. First of all, what is success? Is it making money? Is it having a higher share price? Is it growing the company? All of these things are obviously very important, but I'd like to think that they are really the past reality and what was important in the past. And they're still important today, but what's equally important, and in some instances even more important today, is being a good corporate citizen, creating a very good or great workspace for the employees and the stakeholders, being environmentally responsible, and so on. That is the new reality. And one message to aspiring new CEOs out there, my message, one of the messages I'd like you to take away is it's a very, very, very difficult job. Don't underestimate how difficult it is. And if you think you're only going to be working 40 hours a week, that you're wrong. It's going to be a lot more than that. The stress level is very high. Most mining companies, especially the little junior ones, are very understaffed. So you'll find yourself doing lots of different tasks, things that you never imagined possible. And you've got to act in real time, make thousands of decisions, and hopefully you get most of them right. You've got to manage your team, you got to manage the board, you've got to run a successful operation, whether that's a mining operation or an exploration operation. You've got to interact with shareholders. You've also got to interact with regulators, the government, other outside authorities. In short, it's a very, very difficult job. And often you're going to find that you're alone. You know, there's a saying that it's lonely at the top. And the reality is there's very few people that you can confide in. And so you're going to be left to your own devices. The analogy that I use and the saying that I have for new CEOs is that you're juggling on a treadmill on a high wire. Okay, time is not on your side. And so you've got to make things happen. Nevertheless, on the positive side, it can be a highly satisfying and potentially even very lucrative job. If you look at all the hospitals or schools that are sponsored by successful mining CEOs, like Pierre Lassonde or Seymour Schulich or Ron McEwen, there's no doubt that it could be lucrative if done right. At Red Cloud, we specialize in three things. Number one is financing. Number two is M&A. Number three is marketing. So I'll touch on those three aspects, or these three activities, if you will, of a CEO. So number one, on the financing side, here's some advice. I've been doing this for almost 30 years now. First of all, plan well ahead. And the rule of thumb I give CEOs is from the moment you want to do a financing to the moment that you close, you should budget about 6 months, okay? We often get companies that come in to see Red Cloud and they want money like next week. It's impossible. We can't do that. Nobody can do that. Even in the hottest market, it takes months to raise money. So budget time. You must have a compelling value proposition. The investor, who's the important person here, must want to invest. It's not about you or what your needs are or why it's important to you as the recipient of the money. And finally, once you get your money, you've got to over-deliver on your promises. And that means that you might have a shot at getting money in the future. On the M&A side, some advice here is M&A is extremely time-consuming. You'll have to review hundreds of ideas before you find something that you can close on. Also, don't be greedy if you want a deal to occur. Ian Telfer, very successful CEO, who's behind Wheaton River and Corp, he once told me, he said, any deal can be done, any deal can be closed if you throw in some warrants, okay? You throw in some sweeteners on both sides. That way there's some upside left for the vendor if you're the buyer and vice versa. Make sure that the other board or the board of the other company in an M&A transaction is on side from the very beginning. I've had lots of deals fail where we thought the board was on side, but at the 11th hour, they decided not to do a transaction. And M&A is about human interaction, ultimately. And so you've got to get the other board on side, but of course you got to get your own board on side and get everyone on side early on, I guess is some friendly advice. Most M&A transactions fail because of due diligence issues, either technical due diligence, legal due diligence, financial due diligence. So once you've agreed to terms with the other side, make sure you kick off the due diligence quickly. You do it rapidly, surgically, because as I said, I'm going to throw a number out there. 80% of M&A deals fail because of some due diligence issue. Okay, on the marketing side, here's some messages that we give to CEOs in the mining business. You have to be consistent and you have to be persistent. Consistent means a simple message and you repeat it over and over. You don't change your message. So work on your story, work on your message early on and stick to it. Persistent means you've got to market in good markets, you've got to market in bad markets, when you have news, when you have no news. Because if investors don't see you, they think that you're not busy, they think you're not creating value. So you've got to be there. Now, you can't be marketing too often, more than 6 months, seeing a certain group or a certain region more than once every 6 months is too much. But you've got to be out there persistently. Trust is the number one element that investors look for when buying a mining company stock. And this is especially true for investors that are less technically savvy, that may not understand the nuances of mining or geology. And of course, no company always has good news. Make sure that when you do have bad news, you deliver the bad news quickly. I like to make, there's a cliche, I like to make lemonade out of lemons. And often, ironically, when you have bad news, and if you're open and transparent, delivering that message with your investors or other stakeholders, you'll win loyalty from them. And again, building trust is doing what you say you're going to do over and over and over again, being consistent and persistent. Now, we often get asked what methods work or what method works the best for marketing. The truth is, there is not one method, there is not one market, one region that works best at any given time. Certain times, let's say California really likes mining names, or sometimes webinars work really good, or other times it's in-person meet. The point is you've got to market to a variety of different types of investors in different locations at different times. And the reality is, of half the people that you're going to see, they're not going to care about your story no matter what you do. It's the other half that are really going to care. The problem is that those halves vary all the time. So at any given time. So that's why you've got to be out there consistently. And no particular method works better. It could be one day, as I said, it could be webinars. Another day, we're always working on different things like YouTube and all kinds of innovative methods, because it's there are thousands of mining companies out there. So you've got to be different. You've got to have a different hook. And marketing is very time consuming. So we recommend that public mining CEOs devote about a week a month to marketing. So this concludes my brief presentation. What does it take to be a successful mining CEO? It's a hard job, but it can be very rewarding. And if you want or need more information about the topics that I covered, the activities that Red Cloud can help you with, namely financing, M&A, and marketing, and there are other things obviously Red Cloud can help with, but those are the three main topics. Please go to the Red Cloud website. We have lots of talented people that can help you to become either a successful CEO if you're new, or an even more successful CEO if you've been doing it for some time. So thanks for your time. Enjoy the PDAC. It's been a pleasure delivering this message to you. Bye-bye.